Well, let's start this again. First of all, thank you for your patience.
Yes.
Rob is still kind of adjusting this. The short story is we had it all set to go with a camera and the Facebook and the microphone, and it was going to sound so good, and we probably sound about 9 miles away from you now, so we are sorry. We're doing the best we can.
You should see all the work Rob went to, and we thank him so much. In fact, we would not be here if not for him right now. So
That's right.
Thank you, Robbie.
So before we get going for reals now, and am I not the only one seeing the live show? No, Patty, you are seeing it now, hopefully. Everybody let me know that you're seeing this, or just send love, send good vibes, send hearts. We're going to take a breath and thank our sponsors who make this possible. Prozac, alcohol, no, none of those things. Sierra Sil, the little blue pill that Rob actually does take. Sierra Sil, joint formula, glucosamine.
I hear he doesn't need the other one.
Well, come on. I mean, look at me. Oh, I'll get rid of my gum now. This is my stress gum. Joint formula 14. You'll feel a difference in your joint pain in joint pain. Get your mind. Joint pain in 14 days or your money back. Okay, there's this. And then, of course, with curcumin. You know what curcumin does. It's all good. It's all natural. It's all Sierra Sil. Go to sierrasil.com. Use the code GF and get 10% off. What's that you've got, Lisa?
Our other wonderful sponsor.
Don't give us this much rope, honey.
Kathy and Kim at Envy Pillow, and this is the travel size. Don't leave home without it. I don't. And it's, the attributes of the Envy Pillow. We've told you before, there are different sizes. There are different makeup of it, but it's all sustainable materials and really good for your neck, good for your sleep, good for your face. You wake up without bedhead, or as I like to call it, composer hair. See all those composers with the crazy. Anyway, envypillow.com. You can take a quiz and find out which one's right for you and get 10% off with the code GF.
Almost as lovely to sleep with as these two.
Oh.
This is Dottie, Mrs. Noodle.
And this is Livy. I am so in love. My whole thing when I left to come out here, I said to my husband Derek, I just hope the dogs like me. And they do.
They really do. They really do. And they're our support, our emotional support dogs now after the first 10 minutes. So, okay, let's breathe in. Well, that's all the time we have.
Strong, confident woman.
You are, yes. Yeah. You got a hair right there.
Okay,
not that I'm looking at your breastises. So we are going to be giving away a couple of these, not these because they're covered, well, in sweat right now, but we're going to be giving away several of these.
10, and so 10 people will get two, one for them and one for their friend who they brought to Gracefully and Frankly.
Yay.
And if you do hear your name, we're going to be reaching out to get your address so we can send them to you, so you could save us the trouble by just sending us your address to
That'd be nice.
gracefullyfrankly@gmail.com.
Yeah.
So
don't post it on our Facebook page.
No, please don't. But thank you for all the entries. We really appreciate it. And these are the smaller version of the ones in our logo because I could not find the bigger version. And I actually like these ones. I like the length of it and everything. So I was quite happy with them. So I hope you are too.
So where are we? We are in our condo, and if you could see, the place is just right upside down. And but we do have it set up, and as I say, we were all ready with a real camera and everything, and we hope you can hear us okay. So when you sent us a lot of questions, and thanks to our dear friend Anita Reynolds MacArthur, who literally landed at Pearson International about 2 hours ago and zoomed to Ajax so that she could do our Facebook Live with us. She's going to be sending us some of your questions. So if you see Lisa checking her phone, it's not like oh no, there's your phone there.
We're on my phone, but I'll check your phone.
Hey, okay, you need my thumbprint. All right, okay. This is going great. So anyway, we've got, just cut it off. Okay, so yeah, I'll take it off Do Not Disturb. And then you can get messages from Miss Anita. So she's got my email. My sister Leslie said to breathe. Thank you, Leslie. And hi to Derek back in Port Stanley.
Yeah, so questions, comments, anything you want to say, you want to share, something's going on, whatever.
Okay. So some of the questions that you had for us in the weeks leading up to this, and thank you so much for listening to Gracefully and Frankly, truly a labor of love. Yes. We do love each other. I'm sorry. What's your name again? Oh, we didn't say our names. Oh, she's Lisa Marie Presley Brandt, and I'm.
Erin Donatella Versace Davis.
There you go. Those
Yes.
are our names, or at least today they
Memorable.
will be. Sure, sure. Okay. So Lisa arrived here on Sunday, Monday. Happy
Monday.
days, and then she got here on Monday, and we've been having just the best time. We took a ferry over to Pender Island, one of the smaller Gulf islands, yesterday.
Yes, my friend Sarah Smith, now your friend Sarah Smith,
Yeah.
lives there.
Rocker.
And-
She's a rock chick.
Oh,
She's
she's
great.
wonderful, wonderful. And she toured us around and just a lovely experience.
I'm in love with Magic Lake on Pender Island. Oh boy, if Rob can't find me, that's where I am, and he won't want to find me anyway. He'll just say, hey, that's nice. She's gone for a few days. And we did that, and on a Monday or Tuesday, we went on a float. Now, what's a float, you ask? We'll explain it next week in episode 86, but basically it's in a big tub where you have the lid closed, you're like there in a giant egg. Remember those legs, pantyhose that came in the egg?
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Just opens the other way.
Yeah. And it was filled with 98.6 Celsius degree water and Epsom salts, and you just float, and it's marvelous. But we'll tell you more about that next week. So we've done that. We've gone for oodles of dog walks, and we've really enjoyed the weather, because I understand today there was another heavy rain warning in Toronto for canoeing on the Don Valley Parkway or something. Holy.
Yeah, my friend Jason Kloss is planning to swim across Lake Ontario. He had to put it off because there was a lightning warning and rain. And yeah, it's been just, it's so perfect here. You almost don't want to say anything because it's just perfect. No humidity and really super nice. Can't imagine why so many people have this place in their bucket list.
Yeah, no
Victoria,
kidding.
Sydney.
Yeah, we are so lucky in
Yeah.
all the islands. So your questions, and you did send us questions in the lead up, and one of them was our history, the history of us, which we just met working together. Lisa would come into the studio and do news, and this was even back in the Daner days, so that was prior to 1999. And then we kind of went our separate ways and just stayed connected.
And you know, the thing I think that really did it for me was when we started going to the gym together, because Rogers campus had a gym.
Yeah.
And I need the buddy system to go to the gym. I know, I look like a hard body, but I'm really not. And I needed the incentive, and we started just visiting and talking and getting together, and that's how that went. You gotta understand though, I used to be, I've been in radio about this long as you-ish.
Uh-huh.
And I used to see your commercials on TV and go, wow. Even though I was in the business and I know how it can be and everything, I think, she's got it made. And she did in many ways, but she also earned getting there by working her tushy off. So, yeah.
On the elliptical.
It was a great, it was just a really great, evolution of how we became friends. So.
Yeah, and we could confide in each other.
Yes.
We could understand what the other one was going through, and isn't that really what friendships are about? I think of Oprah and Gail. And they came up together, and you need the people who have been with you for a long time, in good times and in bad.
And trust.
Trust.
I knew that I could tell you anything, and you knew you could tell me anything, and I wasn't going to go to
HR.
Hello. I was thinking more along Hello Magazine for an expose.
Who cares, right? Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. Taylor asked a question about how do you build long-standing relationships, especially at this time in our lives. And we get a lot of emails and comments from people who are newly widowed or newly relocated, and they're really having trouble finding their connection, finding their people. So what would your answer to that be?
It's, a lot of people say you need to maybe start with things that you have in common, but I think common values are even more important. Volunteering, giving back to, if you have the time and the ability to express what's important to you through something like that doesn't cost anything and is so good for you. My husband does a lot of volunteering and every week, and people will say, "Oh, it's so wonderful that you do it," and it is. But he will be the first to tell you how much he gets out of it.
Yeah.
And the people he meets, and they have the same values and they have the same priorities. I don't know. That's kind of where I'd start.
Yeah, because at this age, I mean, we're not going out to bars on Thursday nights. We're not the people that we used to be. We don't have people in the workplace, right, where you had that in common, whether it was some time in the gym or the same people that you were having trouble tolerating, or any of the same problems that nobody else understood, because as women in business, as you probably or possibly were, you need to find people who know your stuff and can give you some good advice, or just sometimes a shoulder to cry on or an ear to listen to.
Yeah, and you know, I have this sort of rule that I don't give advice unless I'm asked. And we ask each other because it matters. You know, Erin is smart and sensitive, and I will ask for advice, and only when I really really want it. But if she doesn't ask me for advice, I don't give it.
Right.
And I think that's part of it as well. That's another thing that works for us. Oh my goodness, we're getting some wonderful comments about the pups. And Brenda says you get more than you give when you volunteer, and isn't that the truth?
Wow.
You really do.
Well, hi to Heather in Richmond Hill, and Philomena, thank you. Yes, and we're going to talk a little bit more about volunteering later on. There's also clubs to join. There are service clubs, and there's Probus. I know Mally, who's watching, is part of Probus, which really does sound like a car or a medical condition, but it's a great group of people. We belong to Sydney Rotary, and you know, depending on what time of day you want to get up, there are all kinds of meetings all over the place. There's the Lions Club. There's all kinds of service clubs, and sometimes service is the best way to meet people, because again, you're out there slinging hamburgers, or you're ringing the bells for the Salvation Army at Christmas, and you just find your people that way, so you don't have to be alone. Also online.
Yep. Absolutely, looking for your community online, and there are people who will benefit from what you know and what you have to offer. I know that sometimes we have that little voice in our head that goes, well, what can I, I don't have a degree, or I did this or whatever. And there's always someone who will benefit from something that you have been through, or that you know that they don't know. And it's just the truth. And
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. How to make a friend.
Yep, absolutely. And it takes energy. The friendships take energy, and you and I are both acquainted with people who have not reciprocated that energy, and so it can be a little bit of an emotional drain sometimes, but it's worth it in the end.
Yeah, a lot of people have the Olympics in common. People are saying, did you watch the volleyball? Did you see that guy today, the American who won bronze running? And they're saying he's such a hero because he did it with COVID, but all the people around him, nobody's wearing masks. How many of these people have now been infected? Oy. But the other thing that kind of made me think about the Olympics was, if you had something that you do that you could at least make it on the podium for something in the Olympics, but not a real thing, what would it be?
I'm really good at choosing the size of plastic, like Tupperware or whatever, for the leftovers. I'm very good at that. You know how sometimes you misjudge and you have to, and I guess pretty well at the time. That's my Olympic event.
Wow, and then that gratifying burp at the end is it's the gold medal.
What's yours?
Mine is kicking off light switches.
That's right. You do that with your foot.
I do. It's like, what was it, Sally O'Malley on Saturday Night Live? Because I'm 50, I can kick, and I can. And I kick quite often above my head, or at least a shoulder height, or wherever light switches are. I can do things with my toes. These toes, fetishists are going to hold on to this. These toes, I can write with my toes. I can pick things up with my toes. I haven't picked a pair of underwear up off the floor with my hands, not these hands, in years. Those would be is that too much?
No, not at all.
See, if this was the recorded podcast, we'd talk later, and Lisa would say, yeah, that meant an 11 11:14 to 11:28. I think that should come out.
No, I would not. She's kidding. I would not do that. You go back up to the comment just so we can see them coming in.
Yeah.
Are you good at okay, yes.
Kevin has a question.
Kevin wants to know if I'm also good at finding the lids that match. See, I am a little bit of a Monica from Friends when it comes to organizing things. And I have all the lids by size in a basket next to all the stacked Tupperware. I know, it's disgusting. People are horrified at how organized it is.
I love it. I'm envious.
And
why haven't you done any of that here? This place must be driving you nuts
Not
right
at
now.
all, because it's not my problem.
Jeez.
And it's still, it's pretty organized for what you have.
Right.
You're kind of living in two places, so I think you're doing
Anyway, I
pretty well.
interrupted you. Sorry.
No, that's okay. And if I happen to find that something happened to a lid, well, then that bowl goes too.
Really?
I know.
Oh, no, I
it's-
can't do that. See, I am always the one.
recycle.
I think that lid is going to be found. I do believe that.
Not
Okay.
me. I've got to shed it just to make room for a new lid.
Okay, we'll put a lid on that with that. Hi to Sandy in Port Perry. Nice to have you here. Hope you're managing to stay dry. Now, speaking of getting rid of things and saying goodbye to things, we had someone, and I think her name was Marilyn, or Mary Lou. Let me see. Hello, Mary Lou.
Goodbye.
Yes, she wanted to know, yes, Mary Lou is going through a difficult thing that so many of us have gone through, will go through, are going through, and that is separating yourself from your parents' belongings.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And you did this with your mom.
Yeah. Yes, when my mom passed away, of course, there was some of my dad's stuff there too.
Yeah.
But there's a tendency to hang on to things that you don't really care about because they did.
Yep.
And that's a lot of baggage, and I know it, and I felt it. You have stuff from your mom and aunt, and
Oh, I've got all their silver, and we've talked about this on the show. Put it in the dishwasher, use the good dishes, all of that stuff. And it's hard. My grandfather was an artist, a painter. My mom was a painter, and they were prolific. So they got moved around from garages to basements to houses. My sister Leslie's really good at putting the stuff up. Because she really likes it, but it's not my style. Western landscapes and stuff. My mom, beautiful pastels. So you feel this tremendous guilt, don't you?
yeah, and you know how much it meant to them, and now they're no longer here. You're carrying their legacy. One of the things that Mary Lou had said was, she'd like to change some things into her style, and I am 100% in favor of that. They say don't paint antiques, you ruin the value and that kind of thing. The value, most times we're not going to hit the lottery on Antiques Roadshow.
Oh no.
The value is mostly in what your parents
Yeah.
thought of it. If you think a coat of paint or something is going to make it fit into your place and you would still like to keep it, I mean, I'm all for that.
Go for it. Go
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, you're right. We're not going to hit the lottery with anything that our parents left us unless there's something in a pocket of something. We can always hope. Or there was a Van Gogh underneath my granddad's painting because he found that canvas somewhere. So I came across this site and this book called The Swedish Death Cleaning Rules. Now it sounds pretty serious.
It sounds like some sort of a UFC match or something. The
It does.
death cleaning.
Exactly. And of course there's a Swedish name for it, but it sounds like a dresser at IKEA. And there are 7 steps. Now, we know we're not just talking to the children of elderly parents. We're talking to some elderly parents. And this is a message that your kids want you to know too. Because, okay, number 1, let your loved ones know that you're doing this. And then if you've got a child who says, Mom, I've got to have that coffee table, take a sticker, piece of masking tape, whatever, painter's tape underneath it and put that child's initial on it, okay? So it's not like Succession where they were putting numbers on everything, who was going to get stuff. Okay, so you can do that. Have a conversation with your children, or now have a conversation with your parents and say, Mom and Dad, you know what? I don't need any of this, so what would you like to do with it? Okay, so let your loved ones know you're going to do this. Number 2, start with your less personal items. Okay, if it's Hummels that your grandmother gave you, or if it's, just some dishes that, you talked about some plates that your mom had that she was so proud of.
She loved
it was
these
like
things.
the queen's plate.
Right, and she had them up in her dining room, and the point was that she loved them, but she also thought there was a ton of value in them, and there was not. And they
No.
were not my thing.
Right.
So I donated them, and somebody I know would have been thrilled to get them for a fraction of their cost.
Exactly.
And I didn't have a problem with it because, well, I don't have a huge attachment to things overall anyway, but, it's difficult though. It is very difficult when, especially when they were attached to it.
Sorry, Rob just walked behind the phone there and hit the ladder that was supposed to hold the camera. We had such a good setup. Sorry, I jumped right in the middle of your thing. It's like, oh!
It's all good.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so that's number 2. Start with less personal items. Number 3, give away possessions gradually. You don't have to wake up one day and all your favorite stuff is gone. Just do it gradually so it feels comfortable for you.
Right, and there's a sensation for a lot of people. They don't want to think about this kind of thing, because it means I'm gonna die.
Right.
Or my parents are gonna die.
Nobody
And
gets out alive.
That's right, but you don't really want to start a process. I understand where there's some hesitancy for that. My mom just one day went around and put names on everything.
And there were kids you didn't even know.
But yeah, it doesn't have to be maudlin. It doesn't have to be sad. It can be, hey, you're
clearing out.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I know you want this thing, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep some mementos that are special to you. You don't have to give away everything you love. Just keep the things that you love, and those will be the few things that your children or the executors of your estate have to deal with when you're gone. Donate and sell the rest. Oh my God, Facebook Marketplace. I would get such a high when I put something out there. It's not always good. There will be scammers, and there will be people who try and talk you down from something that is already dirt cheap.
Yeah.
But it's such a high, and you get to meet the person who's getting something, and it really means a lot to them.
Like my grandmother's spoon collection, and
Oh, didn't everybody know somebody with a spoon collection?
Right.
Maybe you still have one.
yeah, and it just didn't mean anything to me, but I knew it meant something to her. And it was all like, Gravenhurst and Barry and play. It wasn't, but they were important to her. I held on to them for quite a while. The cases were handmade by my grandfather's best friend. And then I realized, this isn't me. And I found somebody who loved them and, expanded their collection. I think they had a spoon room. And it meant so much more. And my grandmother would have been thrilled that somebody who really, really wanted them had them.
Yeah, the Spoon Saloon. There you go. And I gave away so many of my grandmother's teacups and saucers to a tea room in Jackson's Point. I don't even know if they survived COVID, but those cups would have. Okay. Make a list of important documents and passwords. Oh, please. If you saw how much trouble we had just getting into Gracefully and Frankly from my computer, and there are legacy things you can do with your social media sites and accounts too for when you're gone, so they don't keep on forever and ever. But make sure that your kids or somebody that you trust, not to say you don't trust your kids, you get what I mean, but that somebody else has your list of documents and passwords. Rob hacked into Lauren's computer after she died because nobody knew her password, but Daddy figured it out. Yeah, because we wanted to make sure that we got to keep all the videos and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, make sure somebody knows it. Okay? So I would tell you my passwords. Would you tell me yours?
Oh, absolutely. In a heartbeat.
Only because I won't remember them. That's right.
I have everything written down so that in a book that I have sort of hidden. And
that says passwords.
And hopefully, yeah, exactly, passwords. Everybody, have a look.
Yeah, it's got a picture of Alan Ludden on the cover. We should have known.
But hopefully, if something should happen to me, Derek would be able to, go in and raid my bank account for all the shekels that are in there.
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah.
Okay. And 7, most importantly, and we do this by moving. This is the last one. Declutter regularly.
Yeah.
It's such a gift to yourself. And I'm going to be doing in September another declutter for diabetes.ca. And it's just, every Saturday you take your stuff to designated depots for diabetes.
Yeah.
Whoever your favorite charity is, wherever you want your stuff to go, declutter. It feels so good. And then there's more room for more stuff.
That's exactly it. Some people have that one thing in, one thing out rule too, that they follow through their life. And
That's interesting.
I've been trying to do that.
Okay.
But it's not always, anyway.
All right. So that answers hopefully Mary Lou's question, we hope. And we know so many people are going through this. I saw one guy, I happened to be reading about this yesterday in advance of this, because, believe it or not, we were prepared. And he said, okay, my mom and dad didn't do anything with their stuff because they said, when we're gone, it'll bring the kids together. And the narrator says, it did not.
No, it doesn't work that way. I know, I'm sure that's the hope, and
it doesn't.
No, it's kind of pie in the sky. And
well, I told you about my cousins. I have an aunt who is way deep in the throes of dementia now, and she has 2 sons. One of them now departed, but she decided her 2 sons, who couldn't stand each other most of the time, they were coming around, were going to be co-executives of her estate because she thought that it would make them come together.
Oh yeah, bring 2 people who can't stand each other together under stress. That's not going to work.
It just doesn't. Yeah, so put your wishes aside and think of who's coming next. Oh my God, why don't we have a funeral home for a sponsor here? Sorry if this got dark and deep here, my friend.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they relate though. They're trying to declutter and make sure that they're not leaving a whole bunch of junk for their kids, because really when by the time you get to that generation, the story you tell about the table you got because your father escaped someplace and brought is not that meaningful to most of them. We just go through any antique store. You'll see what has happened to all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And someone here asked, what do you do with old photos? Well, let me tell you, our friend Mira, who I talk about all the time, who on September 1st is turning 99 and is probably watching this because she's more text. We should have had Mira setting up our Anyway.
No, Rob is great.
She left dozens of photo albums back in Israel when she moved to Canada when her husband died. And so she left photos behind, but she still got hundreds and thousands of photos and a postcard with a Hitler stamp on it, believe it or not, from the time when she was living in a work camp, and it's a whole story. That book should be written. But she's got all these photos, and so many of them, her husband loved to take pictures. Vonko would take pictures and video and stuff, and she doesn't know who half the people are. She doesn't know, and she was part of that life. So if your kids or if they don't have a clue who's even in these pictures, pitch them. And you and I were talking about this too. You were talking about being in Italy, and I was thinking about being in Italy. And then I thought of all the photos and all the waiting for people to get away from the Trevi fountain and all that. Do I ever look at those photos? No. If I want to see the fountain, I Google image Trevi fountain.
Yeah.
And
You know what we did? What I did when we got back is I made one of those Shutterfly books.
Oh, I love that. We did that in Egypt.
Yeah, so now I have all the photos if I want to get something specific on a stick. But I have the book. Somebody says, oh, you went to Italy and I've got $5. Can I look at your long and detailed? No, it's not like that. But it's nice. It's nice to have just the highlights in a book. And it's just a thin book.
There you go. Somebody else I have started to declutter because when I'm gone, I do not want someone else to deal with it. Thank you, Sue. They help you. It would be so much easier to leave everything for my 2 sons to sort out, says Kevin. No, of course it would be easier.
Easier for you.
You'll be dead. What do you care, right?
Yeah. That's such a common thing though. Is just, I don't want to deal with it, and I leave it for them, and that's why we end up as the kids burdened by that.
And it's a lot.
It is. My mom did have to move out of the house, and my dad his health was failing. He was in long-term care, and she was forced to go through everything. She didn't have a choice, and she did not like it. But when she got to her new place, she felt a lot better that she had a lot less stuff. So
yeah. And my sister reminds me she did a scrapbook of the old photos before my parents were gone to get their knowledge of everything.
That's brilliant.
Good for you, Les.
That's the other thing. Ask questions.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
I have this knife from Burma that my dad brought over for some time in his Armed Forces career, and I did record him telling me the story of the knife. Now I can't find the recording, and he sure does not remember it. So all those stories are gone.
Yeah.
Okay, Judy says I started asking my kids what they'd like, and my grandkids have started asking for me to leave them certain things. That's great. Erin, you are in my Tulip Time book. Thank you, Diane, for that trip that we took together. Yeah, okay. My photos are stuck behind plastic unless I throw out the album. Oh, remember what we used to do where they would stick to the page and then a plastic on top? Oh, that was the evolution of photo albums.
It is really hard to find those anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so that was a bit heavy. Now, we do have some lighter topics, but it seems like people who really had their questions that they wanted answered were heavier things, and we're about half an hour into this. So yeah, you can take a look at that. These are the last two that we made notes on here. So go ahead and send your questions if you've got them. For some reason, I am, blow dryer helps get them off. Thanks,
Oh,
Natalie.
that's a good point.
Okay, that's great.
I
Yeah,
forgot
I'm only
about
getting
that.
about 4 comments at a time here, and I know you've sent in like 164. So help us, Anita. How do we get all these questions?
She can't help.
Okay, Kevin's leaving now. Thanks, Kev. Okay.
I think it's a good time to just pick 5 names
Oh,
for the pendants.
Mm-hmm.
So if your name is drawn here, got a bazillion of them.
Rob, come on over and pick a name.
If your name is drawn here, yeah, people want to see you anyway, Rob.
Yeah, come on in behind me, honey.
Yeah, we're gonna keep that.
Okay, keep that down with the
Just
names.
out of frame, it'll be.
All right. Good luck. You're going to get one of these.
Anita can't read the comments.
Oh,
Facebook is just,
Facebook is
it's
stupid.
problematic to
It's
me.
dumb.
All right.
We're gonna do maybe Instagram next time. Franca Mazzanati.
Mazzanti.
Sorry, I put another I in there. I apologize. And I was just in Italy not long ago. And your friend Angela Tricito. Now, the neat thing is, we put a note on here that you both sent each other's names. So we're glad to have you both. We're glad you're both going to get pendants, and thank you so much for entering.
That means they're still in there, though, too.
That's right.
Right, okay. So our second winner is, Luana Griti and her BFF, Vern Little.
Yay!
Yeah,
Congratulations.
seems like we got a lot of the Italian-Canadian girls
That's
listening
right.
and joining us. Thank you for that. Grazie.
And if you're wondering how this happened, this ended on July 31st, but we had a Tell a Friend contest going on. And if you brought somebody to our Gracefully and Frankly page, you sent us your names, and we are drawing for that right now for
Okay.
2 of these pendants.
Hey, Mike Cooper's son Chris, Rob says for you to say hi.
We've had many people want you to just show your face.
Yeah,
and
don't
just
be
say a
shy,
quick
Rob.
hello. Yeah.
Wanda Love says, love you,
Yeah,
Wanda.
Many people. Yes,
Okay.
Wanda.
Lynn
Wanda.
says, is this being recorded? Lynn, we don't even know if it's live right
Be
now.
careful what you ask for.
There's my handsome man, handsome Rob from the Italian Job. Okay, Patty Elizabeth and her daughter Emma Weiss. Patty and Emma.
Fantastic
All
pendants for you.
right. Can you two do a girls tour? Yeah, Sandy, where do you want? You want to do this on a cruise somewhere? And will you pay?
That's funny. We've had people say, "Why don't you give away trips?"
Oh my God,
because
wouldn't that
we're
be
not
great?
Rogers.
All right, there you go.
Deb Teal and her friend Tracy Rahel.
All right.
Congratulations.
Is that 5 yet?
That's 4.
4.
One
Okay,
more.
and one more makes 5, and then we'll do another
Another
5
5,
later?
yeah.
See, this is how we hook you through the next break. There's not going to be another break. Okay, you do that one. My hands. I got powder from my makeup.
Barbara Buckland and her friend Kelly Marchant or Marchant.
Yay!
There you go.
Thanks.
Yay. Thank you.
All right, everybody's saying hi. Patty's very excited. Please pick my name, Rob. Oh my God. Do you think he does as he's told? Do you really? Have you not known us? Are you sweating yet? We turned off
I
the
am
air
a little
conditioning
bit.
so it'd be quiet.
But that's okay.
Well, you don't have a warm dog on your lap, but Miss Livy is. Would you like a warm dog on your lap?
I could tell that Livy wanted to get down, so that's why I moved the envy pillow, and I think she just had a little bit of enough for the moment. but-
Okay, Rob, you can come and spritz us if you want.
These dogs. Oh, that's a great comment from Sharon about the artwork behind us.
Oh,
yes, this is
thank
an
you.
amazing piece.
This is a piece that never got taken out when we moved here 8 years ago. This is sometimes why you do hold on to stuff. Let me tell you a quick story about this. Ian Leventhal, I bought a piece of his when there was an auction, a fundraiser at York University, because I think he was either teaching or was an alumnus. of York. And you might have seen some of his whimsical work in Second Cup coffee houses in and around Toronto. And so I bought one that I thought looked like my life. It's a high rise, it's got the moon sipping a cup of coffee, and I just adore it. And then when I was doing a TV show on Rogers for 2 years, I asked Ian if he would paint a piece for the set, and this is the piece that he painted. So it's Ian Leventhal, and it was in Lauren's house, and then when Phil and his new wife at the time moved to from Ottawa to BC, there wasn't sort of space, or it wasn't really their feel. So we got them back, and there it is. So there you go. Thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah,
Yay.
it's a beautiful piece, and it just...
Oh my God, you
So
can
alive.
see that painting on the mantle. This was supposed to be a tight shot. So we're just going to sit like this. Oh no, Rob. This looks like vomit.
Rob did the best.
Rob, would you come and take away that painting?
Rob is a saint.
He is a saint.
He is
puts
an
up with me.
absolute saint. And
Oh my
he-
gosh. Okay. Yeah, just take that.
We
Thanks,
did all
Rob.
these test shots, and we did all this other stuff today to prepare, and then who knew what was going to happen?
Yay.
that we had.
That's better. There we go.
Is that better? Last roll.
Oops. Thanks, Rob. Love you. You see what I deal with?
There's a market here afterwards, and we said we were going to go get Rob some street meat, so it might be...
I think we better be getting him some street rye. Oh my gosh. Okay. All righty.
He's such
So,
a fool.
what other questions do we have? I did think it looked odd. Yeah, no kidding.
So we also had a question about some of the most impactful things that have happened in our lives and in our careers.
Okay.
Now, you know, we can talk about 9/11, we could talk about all sorts of different things, but when we talk about impactful as far as us, you know, was it like being paired with Mike Cooper?
Oh yeah. Mine was being fired. That was in terms of my career the big moment. And you know, it set the stage for so many great things because that happened in June of 03, and I finished up with Daynard in 99, and then was paired with another co-host, and we just didn't have that kind of magic because it was rare magic. And then I was let go and took a year off. Everybody knows this story. I won't go into it in great detail, but found Mike Cooper out there. I'd been kicked out of the nest, found Mike on the branches, and we just clicked. And so then brought him back to CHFI, and really that was the moment, because it not only was a comeback, but it also gave me a sense of self-worth that I definitely didn't have before. I was petrified because I was turning 40. Oh my God, afraid of turning 40.
Kids.
Yeah, imagine that. I'd love to be afraid of turning 40 again. But yeah, and so I was kicked to the curb, and then found Mike there. He wasn't on the curb though. He was doing okay at another station, and we just clicked. And then he came to CHFI, and we were just top of the top for a very long time. And then his wife became ill, and he had to leave. And that was another very impactful moment, because just before that happened, we said, you know, we're in a bubble right now. It's so good. Everything's so good. And just like that, Debbie developed colon cancer, and then Lauren died, and it was just, it all went to hell. But our job has been putting it all back together. So how about you? What was the most impactful thing for you? Because I'll tell you what I think it is for you when you're done. It's your life, but I'll tell you how you're wrong.
Well, I think one of the big ones was, I hope I get it right,
Okay.
was deciding to leave Toronto, being on the 680 News morning show for several years, which I absolutely loved. And I loved the people I worked with, and it was wonderful. And I wanted to leave while I loved it. But I had always done my career first and other things second. Oh, divorced twice, married 3 times, shocking. But I'd always had that a little bit backwards. And I decided that when Derek and I decided that we were going to, you know, be a couple that I was going to reprioritize, and that was going to be my priority. Everything else was going to.
But he didn't make you. You
He
didn't.
did not.
It wasn't. It's me or your job.
No, and in fact, we talked long and seriously about him moving to Toronto and me continuing my job because I had a great job. It was just 680 News, co-anchor the morning show. I mean, it was
Working out with me.
Yes.
How does it get better?
Doesn't. So it was, it was great, and there were a lot of people I loved there. But that was pretty huge because I think I finally got my priorities straight.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that was a really big one.
Yeah, and you had to have that faith. And by the way, that was the one I was.
Oh,
gonna
okay,
pick.
good.
She chose love, and you had to have faith because the radio, the industry just kind of. If you weren't in one of the big cities, it's been harder and harder and harder to continue to keep going because they just keep piling more work on you while they cut back. Like look at what's happening at Chorus. And Bell and Rogers, all of them.
Well, my last station in London doesn't exist anymore.
Wow.
They powered it off. They flipped the switch. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. So you left at the right time and then got into voice work, and she's been writing like crazy, writing freelance, writing books. You even had a book that went to a publisher and they said no thanks, but they didn't just say it's going into the trash. They gave you constructive advice.
They did,
which
and
really to me is a great sign.
It is a great sign. I was thrilled, even though it was ultimately a no.
Yeah.
But they loved the story. They had some constructive criticism. I do have an agent who is, taking this book around right now, and who knows, maybe I'll get more. And the thing is, my whole hopes and dreams aren't wrapped up in getting a publisher to publish it. Would it be great? Yeah. But that kind of feedback is, don't get me wrong, there's a moment where you kind of go, oh.
Yeah.
But that kind of feedback can only build you up and make you better. And the fact that they even read it. Because some of them, they get, partway through a chapter and go, oh, forget it. They read the whole thing.
That is great.
Yeah, I was really happy about that. So it's it's a new adventure, and all the voice work is a hoot, and where we live, and I just feel really lucky.
Yeah, and I am in awe of you with the writing and the way that you handled that soft no, because other people would have said, well, that's it, I'm garbage, I'm not going to do this anymore. But you are so steeped in stoicism.
Well, the other thing is, I'm also steeped in the fact that somebody like, we're not going to say her name because she's got too many bad things associated with it, but somebody who writes a best-selling series was turned down by 40 publishers.
Wow.
Stephen King was turned down by how many publishers? So it's subjective, and it's not the ultimate, decision if they say no. There are tons of others out there.
Yeah.
I had another one reach out and say, or react, I guess, and say, we're just snowed under right now, but I'm making a note in my calendar in the fall, send it, it'll get read.
Good.
And, what else can you hope for except that people stay open to you, and their reaction's up to them. I'm not much I can do about it. Right?
Exactly. And again, that comes back to stoicism too. And as we always mention too, that rule that you control the things you can and let go of the things that you can't. And honestly, having Lisa around as we have had for the past several days has been so good because she is so terrific at just looking at the moment and staying calm when the F Up Fairy was visiting here for the first 10 minutes on Facebook, and just saying, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to get through this, and you're really, really good at that. I need to take that on.
Well, I have to tell you, I appreciate that very much, but this has come from years of practice, because if somebody who worked with me 25 years ago would hear you say that right now, no, it's just being completely transparent. I would not have behaved that way.
Yeah.
I probably would have been going, oh my God, oh, and it would have been like Scarlett O'Hara and Gone with the Wind, and with the drama.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to live that way, so it's been a lot of work.
Yeah, and we do have to, that is the thing too, that no matter if you're 50, 40, 60, 70, 80, or 99, the learning and the changing, the improvement doesn't have to stop.
Well,
I mean, you just took up stoicism fairly recently in your life.
A couple years ago, I actually realized that I was already doing some things that fell into that sort of lane. And I didn't know what it was called. And basically Stoics, it's not religion or anything.
No.
It's just, you know, accepting, it's the serenity prayer.
Yeah.
Come to life. Accept what you cannot change. You know,
Courage
change what
to
you
change.
can.
Yeah.
And the rest just go, not my pig, not my farm. And carry on and, you know.
Have I had the news on too much while you've been here?
No.
I mean,
not
the last few days, it's just been so joyful and hopeful from the United States. And so every now and then I'll have to turn on my MSNBC and see what Lawrence O'Donnell is saying, or my girlfriend Rachel Maddow, or whatever.
You know, it's
she doesn't
funny.
even know what night Rachel's on. I mean, how are we even friends?
You know, it's funny, when I got out of the news game, I was so happy to just shed that and just to take in what I wanted to. And I'm actually enjoying it. I just want to mention that Lydia Hawk said, "You have grown a lot since Prince George." See?
Oh!
She knew me back then.
It says PG. I thought you'd worked at Procter & Gamble when you told me.
She was my roommate, and
Wow.
she's a wonderful author.
Yes.
Check her out, Lydia Hawk. Yeah.
And someone else, Cindy, says she loves mysteries. Lisa Gardner and Linwood Barclay. Linwood Barclay, just the nicest man, and he was a writer for the Toronto Star.
Oh,
And
is that a name you just dropped? Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't say I know him.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, yes, no, but the thing was, I got a book of his, and I tweeted that I bought it for Rob, and he tweeted back, "Send me your address, and I'll sign up what's known as a book plate." And it's just a little card that's autographed.
Did
Remember?
you really?
Yeah, I sent out a bunch of book plates the year after Morning Is Broken. My book, there, I dropped a name there, Smarty Pants. The year after it came out, and she delivered the stamped envelopes back to Canada to mail, just because it's a nice thing to do for readers.
It's very nice, and then it's personalized, and your book. And I'm not being paid for this, but your book means, like, it's not just like reading an ordinary book. It means so much to so many people. So you see them and get what they're going through when it comes to grief.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know Mrs. Noodle is giving you her love eyes.
This
Her
is
love
something
eyes.
else. I mean, my biggest concern was that these dogs might not take to me.
She is so sweaty. Are you lactating again?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, these little Havanese, they are the sweetest, most chill, wonderful animals.
They really are.
Yeah.
We're so blessed. Yeah. So, okay, we've got lots more comments here. I have one in my book. Thank you. He came to my son's wedding. Diane Waterman, you're a name dropping now. He is a wonderful guy, and we're talking about the author Linwood Barclay. He writes thrillers, and they are really good, and a lot of them seem to be set, you can imagine them in Ontario, but they'll be set in the States. But anyway, we've talked about authors. Okay, so somebody said, what do you do with a week alone? And they weren't talking about us, because it really sounded like she was going through, she wanted to talk about estrangement.
Yeah, what is when you're on your own?
Yes.
And lonely.
Yes.
What do you do? How do you fill a week? And I know what retirement is part of that sometimes.
Yeah.
Moving.
Things you didn't want, but
Yeah.
death, that the estrangement, the end of a relationship, your kids moving away, or your grandkids. Yes. It's really, it can be really hard. So we talked about this earlier today and came up with a few things that we hope might help you. And we discussed it a little bit earlier because it tied in with volunteering. And that really is just a great way to meet other people and to put purpose in your life and to make sure that you have a reason to get up in the morning. And I know from depression, you know from it.
Yes, I
We're
do.
being serious
Yes,
here.
I know. I do know from depression.
Donnie?
Believe me, I was hospitalized for it once, so I do understand depression.
I know you do.
Yes.
Okay, you get the dog back.
Okay, all right.
You earned the dog with that
She doesn't leave.
confession. But no, we know from depression, it's hard. And the worst thing you could get is a friend who says, come on, you got to get out of bed today. No, not if you don't want to. But there are things you need to look forward to. What I started doing a few weeks ago was I got Rob to print me up a calendar. Yeah, a good old-fashioned paper calendar for the rest of the year. So I could write in things that I have to look forward to.
That's very important.
Yeah.
And you know, you can even find that at a job sometimes where you don't have something next to go to and you get bored with your job. But you have to have stuff to look forward to.
You do.
I know it's tough. It's a tough time right now, and a lot of the things that we used to talk about, looking forward to, had to do with the grandkids.
Yeah.
And so now it's time to find different things. Like, oh, I don't know, Lisa's coming for a visit.
Yes, thank you.
Lisa's going home.
No. No.
But you know, it doesn't have to be anything gigantic. I'm really looking forward to this market in Sydney here tonight. And
Okay.
we went into a new grocery store the other day that we'd never been in and had just the best time looking at all their stuff. It's
Yeah.
simple, very
Yeah.
simple.
It is the simple things, and that's what you have told me too. And my friend Andrea, who came a few weeks ago, out of the blue, is just to look for the little things that will make you happy. Don't say, I need to be happy the rest of my life, because for some of us that's going to be unattainable, not the same levels of happiness. You know, not the 2005 levels or the 2011 levels or all of the 2014 levels, you know, the year Colin was born, and then 2019 when Janie was born. There won't be those levels again, ever. It's just, you have to find that sparkle every day.
Yeah,
just whatever it might be.
That's right. So it might be something like the simplest things. Something you make yourself for dinner. You know, gratitude is hard to attain and hard to hang on to sometimes, especially when you're not feeling at your best.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, even just we're just so lucky. We're lucky to be in Canada. I know it sounds like,
Third best country in the world,
That's-
according to a ranking out today by U.S. News and World Reports. But you wouldn't know that because, you know, you stay away from news. But no, it was great, Canada. You know, just, my God, all we hear is complaints and how wrong and bad everything is. And
it's right.
oh my God.
Yeah, but it is difficult, and I do know from depression. So pulling yourself out of that can be a challenge, but you got to want to, and I think that's the beginning.
Yeah. Also, library. This sounds so silly, but did you know you don't have to buy books? And yes, authors do get. We're.
Oh, that's just your computer.
That's just my computer?
Yep.
Are we still there? I could swear and see if anybody hears it. Okay. Shit. So I'll watch for the comments and see if anybody heard it. So maybe it was supposed to be till 5 o'clock.
You're talking about the library.
Yeah, the library. Just a library card. It's digital, and now you can download movies, watch binge watch shows. You don't have to subscribe to Netflix and all that kind of stuff. It's possible to meet people there. You can't have loud conversations, but there's also, you know, books on everything. It's just as simple as the library. That's another little thing, a little cheap hack.
Community is just so important, and it's, you know, the older we get, the more we hear about how friendship is important and how you need people in your life, whether you think you do or not.
Yeah.
You know, find your tribe.
Here's another question that we got about making friends. And yeah, I hear you heard it. Oh no, Brooke says grandma.
I told you it was just a computer.
Colin, Jane, grandma did not say that. She said boogies. Hi guys, I love you. I love you. Oh God. Okay, Dottie says hi. Okay, where was I? Oh, I got all flustered there. Grandma, that's hilarious.
Community, library.
Yes. Making friends and finding something you have in common with people, and meetings. You know, whether it's AA, which we don't talk about because it's anonymous, or anything like that. When we moved here, there was something called Sydney Newcomers. And it was just for people, well, you're going to guess by the name what it was for, but people who end up going hiking and stay friends and you know, dinners out at each other's houses and that sort of thing. So anyway, that's another way to make connections. It's all about connections. I'm awful at it, so I'm going to watch this over later on and complain about the backdrop and everything else. But
Well, you know, I'm not great at it either, because I find that I've realized that I am an extroverted introvert. You know, I can go up on stage and introduce a band in front of thousands of people, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But then later on, when it comes to speaking to people one-on-one, I
Yeah.
just want to run screaming.
Yeah.
Well, no, quietly, so nobody sees me.
Right.
Because I find that difficult.
yeah, you'd be amazed how many people in radio and television are like that.
Yeah.
Probably more in radio, because a lot of us got into radio because we didn't have faces for television. Hell, they don't even want us on Facebook, it seems. But you know what I mean? So we are innately shy, but I'm also a ham, so who the hell knows? I don't know. We should try and do these things more often. I mean, you folks are just so kind and understanding and wonderful.
And we have so much fun. I mean, it really is fun. I love doing the podcast, and I know you do too.
Yeah.
And, you know, it sounds like we're in the same room, but we're really not, obviously. And it really is much more fun when we are in the same room. So, you know, just buy me a house here.
Oh,
and
God,
Derek
I
and I
wish.
and the cat will... I'm totally kidding.
I wish.
Yeah, I know. We were looking at places, and you know, Derek doesn't like to be away from his friends.
Yeah,
You know?
he's got his community.
He gets energy from his friends, and we're talking friends from like high school. You know, they've been together the whole time, and he draws energy from that.
Wow.
While he does that, I'm in the basement in my little booth with the cat writing.
Trimming, doing bonsai.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, I need a bonsai expert.
Oh, geez. Kevin's back. He had to leave, but he's back now. Hi, Kev. Okay, she has a house for sale, Lisa. Yes,
Where?
thank you, Sheila. My house, you
Oh, is that your agent?
Oh my God! I wish I could give you a family and friends rate. Oh wow! Wouldn't that be great?
No. You need to sell that to somebody who's got deeper pockets than me.
Oh dear!
It's all good.
So here's the thing: we should have done this in the other house, and then we could have given you the tour and said, "Hey, if you want to change your life and leave Ontario, leave wherever you are, come out, come to Dean Park, come and see our house." Yeah, look it up online, realtor.ca, Dean Park. Look for it. It's spectacular.
It really
Somebody
is.
buy the damn place. Oh my God. Do you know what bridge financing is like? It's the kind of financing where you want to jump off a bridge. That's what it is. Oh, jeez. Okay, that was insensitive. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Rick says we're the best. Thank you, Rick. You're very kind. Lordy's husband.
I'm afraid this might
be it.
cut us off soon. So let's do the other 5.
Aw.
And just
You just want to go to the Sydney street market.
no, it's not like I want to leave this. I
So
just don't
much
want-
more comfortable on the street.
I don't trust technology today.
You know
for
what?
some strange reason.
Lisa was in the parking lot next to us, found a $10 bill, and she said to me, "What would Jesus do?" So I bought wine. Anyway, no, I didn't. I don't drink. Neither does she. But it's a fun joke. Tell your friends. Tell your grandkids. Hi, Colin. Hi. Okay, so pull out a name. Drum roll. And it is Diane Lambert and her sister-in-law, Heather Campbell.
Oh, and I lost the piece of paper about Diane's book that I wanted
Diane
to
has a
mention.
book.
Diane has a book.
Well, you were getting up and doing stuff. There we go.
Here it is.
Oh dear.
Diane is a wonderful supporter of the podcast. She and Monica Vautour have written a book, and the reason I'm telling you about this is
Yes.
because Diane let me have an advanced look at it, and I've never read anything like it. It's called Journey to a Dream, A Story of Determination. So Diane and Monica both have medically fragile children, and they started with just an idea of having a place for these kids to live and live their best lives. And it's kind of a how to start a charity that works, and their story as well. But there are quite a few books called Journey to a Dream. So make sure you put Diane Lambert in if you're looking for it. So it's called Journey to a Dream, A Story of Determination, and their charity still supports the medically fragile in their community and not just their own kids. So
Awesome.
Well done, both of you, and that's the book. Diane,
Hey,
congrats.
Diane, if you're watching, post the artwork or whatever in your comments on our Gracefully and Frankly page, okay? And if you're not, why not? There you go.
Yeah, where are you?
Hi, Mary. Thanks for listening every week. Kim Burton says that Derek is a beautiful person. Kim LeBron Field, friend Susan Kerr.
There you go.
Or Carr. I have Kerrs in my family. We are Kerrs way back from the Scottish side.
What kind of car do you drive?
What
There
kind
you
of
go.
her? For me, it's the... I don't know. I don't want to come up with something dirty. The grandkids are watching. Okay, Julie LaChapelle and her bestie, Karen Gordon.
Yay!
Yay!
And there's Diane. She is.
Diane says she will post.
Second last one.
All right. Oh, yeah, I keep putting these back in. Mally Bickley and her friend Eileen Perrier with her bubbling, sparkling personality. Perrier. Oh, there's one more?
One more.
Mally, you won.
Yes.
Yes. She's a sweet, sweet woman. And Anne Guillen and her friend. Anne Guillen, Guillen, and her friend, who I guess is going
And there's
nameless.
no name?
No.
Oh, and okay, well, we will find out, Anne.
All right. All right.
And you're a friend. I know you gave us the name. Something happened there. And
yeah.
That something was me.
Okay,
But thank
well,
you.
we are refreshing on my Facebook feed, but you know what that means? Don't swear. So I won't. Well, where is Miss Levitas? Livy? Daddy, where's Livy?
She's in her bed.
Yeah.
Oh, she's in her
She had
bed.
enough with
All
me.
right. Well, Livy is a little sweet pea too.
Well, we're coming into the hour mark.
Yeah.
And we're getting comfortable.
We are.
And yes.
This has been so much fun.
I love doing this.
Oh, I miss you so much.
Yeah,
I miss
I
you
miss you
so
too.
much. I'm coming for a gig at the end of October to MC something, and Lisa and I are going to have a sleepover. So we're looking forward to that. Painting the town beige. 'Cause as long as the paint is dry by 7 p.m., we'll be fine.
That's right. You know, stopping coffee at noon, and then.
Oh my God, she had a 1/3 calf yesterday afternoon because our coffee is so darn good. And then couldn't get to sleep. It was awful. All of that pawing and scratching at our door. I said, girls.
How you stopped yourself from opening it? That's great. I slept in the hallway. It's all right, not a problem. And there was a pee pad there too, which was really lucky.
Yes, indeed. So what else can we say except our thanks to you?
Yeah.
Our thanks to you for listening, for sharing gracefully and frankly with your friends,
We have so much fun doing it, and it's the best part of our week.
and for patronizing our sponsors. Nice Blue, Michael. Not that kind of patronizing, you know what I mean. For Envy Pillow, Kathy and Kim, just two incredible women, and Michael Bentley, just a great, great guy, lives out in... We were supposed to see Michael while you were here.
We still have time.
Well, okay, because I can't tell him you weren't here. We love you,
No,
Michael.
we both forgot. We will arrange that.
We've been a little busy seeing how well this could screw up, and look how well it did. So anyway,
Without Rob, it wouldn't have happened, so it's all good.
yeah. And
Thank you.
anybody who wants to, we are told that this will be available online. We'll see. We'll see. And in the meantime, we'll see you. All right?
Thank you so much. This was episode 85.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And it was live. And we're just going to keep filling till Rob comes over to turn it off.
That's right.
We'll just sit here going, bye. Okay, you want to do it in freeze? Okay, bye. Now?